Hello my dear friends, welcome back. During the weekend it is the best time for us to summarize what has happened during the previous week and what we are going to expect based on that in the next week that we are entering into. So let's look at the chart of Bitcoin and look at the local picture. What we were talking about during this week, at the beginning of this week, we were assuming that Bitcoin is not going to $32,000 as like everybody expected, and as you can see it didn't, and that our limit is going to be between 29,300, 29,600, but we are not going to break towards that $32,000. And in the previous video I explained my thoughts and reasons for that, why we won't see it this week at least. And let's look at what happened. We tried to chop here. We encountered a significant drawback after the FOMC meeting and Powell's speech. And then we drew here this super trend resistance, and I told you that the price probably is going to be trading between this 29,300, 29,600 and 25 plus $1,000 in this area. Why I was so sure? Because if we meet this resistance, then definitely we are going to retest. During this week we have to retest, draw some kind of retest of this resistance that we tried to break this week, and then get back towards at least of this trend line that we drew at the beginning of this year. We drew these two lines that were driving our rally, and they worked perfectly for us as support and resistance, and again as support. And they always work like that. They are always insightful and very easy to trade if you know how to build these trend lines right. So basically what we can see right now, it is an interesting situation, because below we have technically our significant support is upon 25,400, 25,500 dollars for one Bitcoin. Why is that? First of all, it is a local significant resistance that we held for I don't know, almost less than a year, of course, but we held this resistance here, we held it here, and finally we broke it, which kind of should be a bullish sign for us in overall. And basically this level of resistance is huge, because as far as we broke it to the upside, definitely we have to respect it now as support, and maybe it is going to be respected. Otherwise we are going to fall sharply if we lose it, because right upon this level we have I guess 50 moving average support, based on what time frame you are looking at. Also we have the macro ATR support right there. If we'll turn on the ATR, we can see, sorry, wrong indicator. We have this, of course, even the daily one has it here. And I told you we need to recover this inefficiency untraded zone, and we will come there sooner or later. But there is a possibility that when we come to that area, basically if we retest it, this is our global trend line, midterm at least, and if we lose it, definitely we are going to retest it, and we will come for the retest of it. We can kind of even break it after we lose it, because we will have to, because if we lose this trend line we will have to reclaim it, and I'm not even convinced that we will have enough power to reclaim it back. Maybe we'll have some retracement back, but then we will be back and probably will lose this daily ATR, and that would be a bearish situation at that moment. And if we hold this one and try to reclaim this ATR, then maybe we are going to go further. But let's not talk about so in advance. Let's look at the daily. So we know already that 25,400, 25,500 is our significant support here. And also we have this ATR at the moment at 4-hour time frame. But let's switch to the super trend. It is going to be more insightful for us from the mechanics perspective. And we are enabling Kijun, but I don't know why it is not turning on. Yes, here it is. Basically what we had here, significant rejection upon the FOMC meeting. Then we had the retracement here back, and I told you we retraced with this aggressive candle, then we will probably recover from 90 to 100% of this candle. And indeed we met this resistance of the super trend and went lower. This was the sign for me that we are going to we changed the trend on 4-hour time frame. But this kind of spiking candle, it broke it, and it spoiled the whole situation as resistance for us. That is why but this is only on the longest time chart of the Bitstamp exchange. The others look more, they didn't have this spiking candle, and they look like everything is okay here. For example, I guess, yeah, you see it is not broken at BitMEX and other exchanges, but I don't know whether it is going to be insightful or not. But definitely what we see here, I was preparing to tell you about how we are approaching this. Today we are we have approached our 4-hour Kijun support. So basically if we lose it, then definitely we will go lower, maybe up to this super trend support. We'll try to draw back a little bit at the beginning of the next week, and maybe then we'll meet resistance and go lower into the zone that we mentioned before. If we break it to the upside today and we secure above it and we hold this Kijun as support, then probably we can make an attempt to break it again, this resistance again. So basically be very cautious, and if we lose it, then definitely we are going lower. But from the weekly time frame, from what I see at this moment, it looks like we have decent spot here. Let's take a look at other chart that I was trying to show you like this. This is my favorite chart from the 2019, and why it is so favorite. If you follow my videos, you know why, because I have all these global trend lines here. It is a little bit messy but very insightful the whole year that we were trading and were predicting right all the directions, macro directions of the market. So basically this important generational, I called it like this, generational trend line is very important for us to hold to remain bullish. And I follow a lot of interesting, not a lot of, but some of the authoritative traders that I follow, that I respect so much, that they are so good at trading and positioning. And even they also, when we were trying to break this 29 30 $32,000 area this week, everybody was expecting $32,000 at least, and then reversal, at least some kind of pullback. And I was expecting not to break $30,000 because I was thinking, if you follow my previous videos, it is the reverse psychology approach, I try to understand what is going to do the market maker and how it is going to use the crowds, the retail investors' thoughts and feelings, emotions, tilt against them. So basically, I was expecting not that market maker is not going to give us 32,000 at least this week and maybe the next week too. Some of the very good traders were expecting that we are not going to break it too, and definitely, or maybe even break it. They allowed it to be broken, but they told us that there's a good possibility that we are drawing a bigger accumulation range in the form of the week of accumulation. So basically, and that makes sense. And if we look at this chart, what they are saying, and if not for them, I would suggest this too. But there are some things that we should count on. So basically, what do they tell us? And I told you that we will need to come and cover at least partially this week. Many times I mentioned that, and this makes sense what they are saying. They are saying that this is going to be our range, global range here again, from the resistance that we had here, and these blue lines, they show us this range. This is our bottom of this year, and this is our yearly resistance and the previous year and the bull runs higher range. So basically, what they are saying that we will see here the week of accumulation, meaning we have hit on the euphoria, we have hit this range resistance, and then we are going to be back and probably will go lower and sweep all this support bottom that we had. Everybody starts panicking, selling and shorting, then we reclaim it, feel as support, and then we start another leg, and we are going to trade, and the global accumulation zone is going to be built according to this scenario. And under other circumstances, I would agree with that. And also, I'm not ruling out this kind of scenario, definitely, but I have some doubts about it at this moment, because if everything changes, I will change my mind and will notify about this. But at this moment, it seems to me that, you remember, like at the beginning of the week, everybody was so bullish and telling about 34, 30 to 40, $50,000, $1 million. Everybody was so bullish about the market, and one resistance on the weekly time frame, that doesn't mean anything. And they already talk about how we are going to draw and we are going for the next for the lower bottom. I don't think this is the case. And actually, if we follow even my scenario that I mentioned in the previous videos, so even if we follow it and try at least come to this recovery of this week, what is going to happen? Everybody will change their minds and they will follow these cool traders narratives that we are going to sweep this bottom and reclaim it and go for another one, that we are going for the new bottom or the existing bottom for the retest of it and forming the week of accumulation. And that is why I think when everybody starts to talk about it and the narrative becomes this way, that we are going for the existing bottom, the market maker will play it against us and will change the situation. And I think this chart will show us exactly how it is going to be changed. So basically what I'm going to show you, what I am expecting. I showed you this in the previous video, but I want to repeat it again and make it more clear. So basically what is our $25,000 is our great support here, and the previous weekly closed like this, and definitely it is locally looks the reversal one. So basically we can start the new week with the retest of it a little bit, 28,500 like this, and then we start the retracement towards this. Maybe it is not going to be that fast because we had this local trend line out there, but definitely it is going to happen. So basically we are retesting, going for the support retest, this huge support. And what is going to happen after that? That is going to be very deciding and very important, significant, I guess. And do not forget that in 5 days we are switching the monthly candle, and based on how it is going to be formed, we are going to move also. And for now it doesn't look very bullish for me too. It looks more like the reversal locally or midterm reversal candle. So basically after what is going to happen after we retest this significant support with ATR support and moving averages and other stuff. So I'm expecting we either hold this support and we start bouncing back up and maybe even crossing this weekly Kijun that now serves as resistance, and we retest support a little bit. We go to 23,900 plus dollars, and then we bounce back from it. We try to do something like this, and then we start also the bleeding back under here. It is the scenario of in case we hold this as support, this significant $25,000 support as support, then we have this Kijun, this continuation here, and if we lose it, then I think we will have a significant drop, but not that much. Retest and go lower, and at least partial, and we have this generational trend line that is going to be very insightful for us again, and we will feel it, and maybe we will at least with a week retest it, and thus we will cover this inefficiency, this uncovered week, and then we have this super trend support here, and there's the possibility if we hold it, then we are going to reclaim this Kijun as support, and alongside with this trend line it is going to be the huge support for us, and we will start pumping and go for higher highs this year. So basically, but what is going to happen, and it is the optimistic scenario from me for you. Don't think I'm bearish or something else. I'm always playing level to level, and I'm never bearish or biased with anything. So basically this is the second scenario, and it is an optimistic scenario if this generational trend line holds. But if we lose it here and we break this super trend support, and we will start retesting, this Kijun will be our resistance, significant resistance then, and then we will get rejected and we'll go for the next global trend line, which is much lower, and at least to $12,000, $13,000, $14,000. This is the worst scenario here. As you can see, this is a bad scenario. Let me remove the last few so it would look clearer. So basically, if we do not reclaim this trend line, then and we lose this one, we are going lower. If upon the retest of this scenario we lose this Kijun support and retest it as resistance, then we are going lower. These are the bad scenarios that I didn't mention in the previous video because I think it is too early to talk about them. Then of course that week of accumulation scenario can work out, but at the moment I am not I'm not ruling out these scenarios, but at the moment I am sticking with these two scenarios that we will have to recover this week, and this makes sense to me, at least right now. And we are going to follow it, but what we expect in the coming weeks, retest of the $24,000. And based on this, why I am so sure that this is going to happen. Basically, altcoins never lie, because even if Bitcoin doesn't look very convincing, you know my rule. Look at the altcoins and find great setups that will tell you whether the situation is still bullish and candles, insightful candles, and that will tell you that we are going in any direction. And why I am so sure about us retesting $24,000, I mentioned it on my Twitter account. If you don't follow, if you want to be updated about these things on time, then follow my Twitter account here, join, and we discuss many interesting things about this. So basically we have this spilling candle on the BitMEX exchange. So I do not trust BitMEX. They have so many things like that out there with the manipulations and their engine, not perfect engine. So basically, but it doesn't matter what exchanges this is. These weeks they work. They play out, and if you follow me long enough, you know how they play out, and I showed you many times. So basically, I'm sure that we will come sooner or later to recover this week, although it is of the low time frame, only hourly, but still I think it will work out. After the retest, we will be back. These are my local views. So let's look at the SNX. What I'm having here, some interesting situation here is going on. Basically, I told you in the previous videos that I am interested in SNX. Grayscale added them to their fund, and usually I do not pay attention to the assets that already skyrocketed, but I think this one is worth our attention, because right now the big guys have turned their attention to it. So definitely. And I told you, what did I told you? Let's focus on this global trend line that we have. And I told you that I wish to rebuy. I didn't buy here because I saw this aggressive candle. I thought that we are going lower, but definitely the news of the Grayscale adding SNX and a lot of other projects joining SNX, synthetics, and using their products and services definitely pushed the conviction in this asset higher. And I told you when I lost this opportunity to buy upon this trendline support, I told you that if we come back for the retest of this trendline, buy. This is the sign for me to buy. And this spilling candle was the sign for me that we are going to recover it. And this candle ends up around $2, $2.40 right now. And we are closing the weekly candle tomorrow. And I think it doesn't matter whether it is going to be aggressive or not. I think we are going lower here. And this is the interesting situation here, because on the daily time frame, synthetics has finally lost its Kijun support, as you can see. Of course, if we reclaim it, it becomes back bullish, but I don't think it is going to happen, in my opinion. What we are going to do today, depending on the price action, let's look at it. Let's follow this price action. We are kind of retesting this super trend as support right now, but this Kijun resistance will help us. For example, depending on how the price action is going to develop here, if we retest it and get back up at the beginning of the week, we can find resistance upon this Kijun, and if I even see it, or upon here, and if I see it, and we'll see the rejection from it. I'm going to even short it, and we'll find we'll place the take profit upon this $2 recovery of this candle, and not going to hold all the way, in my opinion. This is what I see right now. There is the possibility if we recover it, maybe we will not retest it right at, we are going to do like this, and if we see rejection, we are going for the break of this line, then we'll try to do something like this and get back down, because the weekly at this moment looks very aggressive, and even if it closes not aggressive, I still think to recover this week, this reversal week and candle, I think we will need to lose that trend line and go lower. So basically $2 is on the table, but this is if we have any pullback, I would short it, and definitely will place my bids upon this trend line, and I'm going to buy it, because if we do like this, lose it, retest it, go lower, and we'll start consolidating somewhere here. If we respect this line, if we lose it and close below it, retest it, then definitely it is a get out of it, and we are going lower. But for now, I see only this scenario, and this would be a great situation to try and enter and buy this asset. For me, 160 is a good buy. For now, this is what I see. Stargate, let's talk about it. Stargate is very bearish in my opinion. Look at the weekly, let's look at the monthly. On the monthly, it is even more bearish. But if you remember my previous videos, I told you that, and I mentioned this on my Twitter account, that I'm expecting the price of Stargate in the 50 cents zone upon this. I think it, and I drew this line here, range resistance, range support. So basically we can do something like this, and they will 100% come for the retest of this zone, and maybe we'll even touch this trend line, which would be ideal. And this would be the spot where you would be able to buy. If you buy upon this, upon the touch of this trend line, you are safe in my opinion, because you know you should buy and even long in the right positions, where at the right levels, where the price reaction is expected. Even if it goes lower later, in the moment it is going to be bought back and bounces, and after, and you are, if you bought here, placed your bids here or longs here, definitely you will be in profit. Then you will be able to put stop loss at your entry and be safe. If it goes back lower, then you will be out without any loss, breaking even. If it goes higher, then definitely you found your best entry. The same like with Litecoin and Injective that I mentioned the previous weeks in my videos, and who followed it, they had profit, great profit. So basically Stargate, no buy until 50.48 cents. Aptos, I'm not looking at Aptos because it pumps so much, but if you follow my thoughts here, I told you that it is going to be back to $8-9 sooner or later. As we see for now, we have this trend line that starts from the ignition of this movement of taking off. That is why this trend line is going to work. Basically we are going to do something like this. If we hold this, do not break this super trend support, and we touch this trend line at somewhere. This is the price that you can buy. You can buy and wait for the bounce, and then you will see it is going to be a safe entry in my opinion upon the retest of this super trend and this trend line. If we come there, you can try and basically it depends on where we will retest it, because if we look at them, and I mentioned this many times, inefficiency, untraded area is going to be filled. Yes, filled. Now we have this one, inefficiency, that has to be filled up to $8-9. So there is possibility that we will even break this super trend support. Of course, then we will bounce back, but how long it is going to last, this is the question. But this would be a great entry for you after we fill this inefficiency untraded zone. Use it at your convenience. Hope it helps, guys. Then Sushi is at a high risk because the SEC has filed a lawsuit against it, and there are problems out there, and the chief of the Sushi urged the company, the foundation, to spend fine $3 million for legal defense. It is actually a bad news. And if you look at and I bought, I hold Sushi from 94.8, 94.9, and it approaches to my entry. I don't know what I'm going to do, but definitely I think if we have some kind of bounce from here, at least local somewhere there, I'm going to sell it here and look how it is going to retest this support. If not, then I'm going to hold. It is like that. Maybe it is just some kind of FUD, who knows, but on the weekly it doesn't look that way. You see, we covered this and covered week, and I told you this is going to happen, as always we do, and depending on how aggressively this weekly is going to close, we'll find out what to expect and for Sushi. And as you can see on the monthly, it doesn't look good either. So basically it can actually go into the zone that I mentioned, I guess a year ago, when it is the ignition, it is the total low around 50-60 cents. Who knows what is going to happen, but definitely do not buy Sushi at this moment, at least until it retests this yearly of this bottom that we held and reclaims it and starts pumping. You see some bullish formation, then you can do that. But if you are not in it, then avoid this asset at this moment. I'm going to deal with whatever I'm going to deal myself. So let's look at Link. An interesting situation. If you followed me long ago, I was telling you, and I even recorded a video about the Link and how I was mentioning this aggressive candle, and it looks like a great accumulation for us, and actually does. And there's possibility this is the bottom, high possibility actually. It is going to be lost only. And if you remember my previous video about Link, where I was talking about that I'm interested in buying it around $3 somewhere there, then I would buy it. And we didn't get it. It held very nicely, but who knows what is going to happen. Of course, I'm not thinking about $3 right now, but what I'm thinking is that we will cover this week around 580, 599. We will cover it, in my opinion, and maybe we'll do something like this, retest and then go. But this trend line is very insightful for us because it held many times already. If you see, it is a working trend line. Why? Because it is the place where this trend line starts, the place where the price took off, then retest of it, filled the support, kind of broke temporarily, but held the support overall and took off. This is an important trend line. Then we felt it as support. We started chopping it. It happens sometimes. Tried to reclaim it, got rejected down. reclaim it, reject it down. And now, as you can see, we retested it again and got rejected from it precisely. So basically, I'm going to go long on link only if it breaks it, retests it, and holds it. If it holds it, then I understand, yes, we have become very bullish, and I am even going to take longs. And this is the place where you have to take longs too. So, and this is for the link Marines who suffered so much. And if you want to know where the price is going, you need to build this trend line, and it is going to be very insightful. And it worked precisely so many times and proved to be a working legit trend line. Support, taking off. So held as support, again held as support, then lost it, held as resistance, again resistance. It is a working trend line which is going to show you where the price is going to come in the coming next bull run. And what we can see here, depending on the year, we are going to have that insane bull run. We will have some expectations. It is going to be our limit, in my opinion, the next bull run. So, and from the weekly time frame, what I see here, we are going to come to 25, from $25 to $29, in my opinion. This is where we will come in the coming in the next 2 years, in my opinion. 2-3 years. 2 years, I guess. It would be an optimistic scenario. And even on the monthly, as you can see, we have left 5 days. Follow it. Follow chain link. And if we close with this candle, it is a bearish candle. We are going lower. We don't know how low. Maybe we'll retest up again and we'll start reversing finally. Definitely would be worth taking out there. If you missed, if we lose it, then definitely it is going to shit and we are going lower. But for now, I only see retesting of 560, 580, 590 at this moment. And then we'll have to follow the local situation later. And let's look at the Litecoin. What we have here, I had this great trend line resistance here, which was respected. Of course, we broke it to the upside, lost it, but it was respected as support, as resistance every time. And some people think it is very bearish at this moment. Who knows? But if you followed my videos, I specifically told you where to buy. Upon this, I was expecting the dump, and I told you buy, put your buys at $70. Yes, we broke it with a fake out, but look what happened next. $70, 36% pump after that. Why it was important to buy from it? Because it is a global trend, Litecoin's global trend line support, and you need to respect that. And the price always we see reaction from those levels. And finally, we have reached this trend line. So basically, what is going to happen next? The structuring and the mechanics are easy here. Let's look at it. I think it is going to bounce a little bit and then get back to 84s, 85s at least. Why? And what are your actions? Basically, if we break it and reclaim it, then we are reclaiming this range resistance that worked so well for us. This is going to be above 102, and we are going higher towards the 139, 135. So, but this is invalidation scenario in my opinion. I don't think we are going to break it soon, because we are going to chop, in my opinion, and this week is going to open. Look with what kind of this monthly closing with what kind of candle. it is a reversal candle that we will have to recover back up to 71, 75, I don't know. But definitely I'm not long on this asset at this moment. It is a bad situation when you close your monthly like that, but we will have to follow how this monthly is going to hold. At this moment we broke the on the macro level, on the weekly, we broke the super trend as a resistance. Now we retested the support of the super trend, and we have left this week that has to be covered at least partially, not necessarily at these bottoms, but I would love to see that. So what I'm expecting in the coming weeks: start of the new week, probably some kind of bounce, local bounce a little bit, and even on Bitcoin and everywhere, and then recovery and get back to 85, $80 here. The super, you can see the Kijun's support here. We are going to slide upon it, and I think we are going to bounce each time from it, and maybe we will come for the retest of it here. And if we hold it, then we are going to start pumping after that. Basically, after the retest of this trend line, if we hold it, then we are pumping again and recovering, and by that we would recover half of this week, and that is already legit situation for the possibility to reverse and go become bullish again. Definitely we can kind of even go that low if market goes to shit and Bitcoin loses its 25,000, but be careful with that. So basically, who was longing or buying LTC from $70 that I recommended, I would advise you to take profit and wait for the retraction, the correction back to this trend line in the coming weeks. In my opinion, this is what I can recommend you to do. Let's talk about other things. What about DYDX? It looks bullish, bearish to me, both on the weekly and on the monthly. And this is what I was talking about in the previous videos. We have this range. As you can see, we had this range. I told you we lose it. This triangle we lost. Retested it as it was our support. We lost it, and I warned you about it both on Twitter and in my videos. Then we went for the retest, tried to break it unsuccessfully, and we had this additional rejection resistances of Kijun here. Definitely what is going to happen next? Kind of do some bounce, then we are going for the retest of this daily support, and if we hold it, then definitely we will have some bounce towards it, and after that, if we do not break it to the upside here, definitely we will get rejected again, and probably we'll lose this super trend support, and we'll go lower for the retest and get back to $1. This is the worst scenario, but it can happen here because, as you can see, we have a bearish weekly closing. It can go for the retest, but then it is going to squeeze right upon $1.80. If we have any bounces this week, I maybe even try to short it, because I think we are going to 180, whether you like it or not, and or 185 at least. But this is the bearish weekly closing, and I do not recommend longing it. So let's talk about EOS. Interesting situation here. I have this great, in my opinion, chart with the drawings I had before, the trend lines that work perfectly, and I already know we see some activity from EOS. The team has split, I guess, because they were not satisfied with the real management team, how they handled things, the best ICO in the business, and they delivered nothing since the 2017 from the time of their ICO. There's the possibility, and they collected they opened a fund, $20 million fund, to develop the decentralized apps for gaming products. Maybe something is going to come out of this, especially when everybody, even the long-term enthusiasts of EOS, many people abandoned this project. They already do not believe it. They abandoned after this cycle, when they didn't have another bounce and skyrocketing the new highs. They have become very skeptical about it, and maybe this is the time when we need to buy. Who knows that? And buying EOS can be profitable and maybe worth it. Why? Because we have the support here, 85 cents, between 85 cents and $1. I would recommend buying, in my opinion. Good opportunity. Why? Let me explain it to you. What are action mechanics here? So let's look at the daily. We retested here. We tried to push higher, but this daily super trend resistance held, and we dived closer to the weekly closing. We dived back under the Kijun. So basically we are reversing. It is the sign of a reversal here, local at least. Basically, if we get retest or somewhere here, get rejected again, or maybe even try to break it with a fake out, dive back under, it is even the sign, and the opportunities are short. So basically, if we retest it, get rejected, then we are going to $1 top. This is guaranteed, in my opinion, and then we even can go to 85, and this is the zone I recommend people to buy spot, not long, spot. Hold it for a spot. And if you see the consolidation here and the bullish formation, then you can long it, because EOS you can use as margin for longs. Basically open the lowest possible leverage, x2, x3, and use your EOS to increase the amount of EOSs if it goes in your direction. But you have to make sure that it is a bullish formation and this support holds. But definitely buy in this zone and look what is going to happen. If it becomes bullish, then hold it or whatever you want to do. But if it loses and goes lower, the market goes to shit, and everybody is expecting, the bear is expecting back the new lows, then definitely EOS is going lower, up to 60 cents, somewhere there. Let's look at our total bottom here, around 50-60 cents. Would I be devastated if that happened? No. Why? Because even if I bought somewhere here, for example 90 cents, and it doesn't go up, but it goes lower to 50 cents here, to the all-time low, I would open a long and with my EOS, and by the time it comes back to my entry point, I would be already in profit and have twice as much EOS, and then we could start the journey. But definitely I'm expecting something like this here, and we are retesting, then start getting back, reclaiming Kijun, and it becomes our support. Then we are going higher, up to $2.90, $2.80. That would be the first resistance here, where you can take profit, sell, and rebuy lower, in my opinion. So what is my reasonable expectations from EOS at this moment? $6, $7. This is the intersection, what we have here. Rejection, high, lower high, lower high. And I'm thinking that this is what is going to happen here. We are marking this level and getting bad. This is where I would sell. Of course, if we break it, reclaim it, then we are going higher. Can this happen? I don't know. It will depend on how the news are going to be and how the new roadmap of the EOS is going to be executed, and whether a new trend and narrative comes. But without it, I am expecting, the reasonable expectation is $6-7 for me now. Okay, let's talk about MINA. Finally, MINA. A lot of people were asking me, okay, this is what I drew for my followers on Twitter. Why? Because everybody is expecting that. And I told you, there's another chart here that I used here, yes. And I told you what to do, what? A few days ago, yesterday I guess, I was telling you to sell if we come for the retest of this global, it is global, can be called global midterm trend line, at least. I was expecting that we are going to get rejected. Only reclaiming $1, in my opinion, would be a very bullish signal. And of course, we needed to reclaim this trend line and hold it as support first. And I was expecting us to reject right upon here, upon this super trend resistance. But we didn't do that. It kind of became a little bit higher here. And we broke this super trend resistance, which was kind of a tough thing for me to understand, because it is not good, because after breaking this super trend resistance, we needed to only hold this super trend support to become bullish and go back higher. But as you can see, that was worrying me. But I told you to sell if you see the rejection diving back under 88 cents. I sold, and I was expecting to how the price action is going to play out here, and we are having it right already. And we broke the super trend support, which gives me the understanding that whatever happens right now, what we are expecting here, and I showed it on my Twitter account, one of the last tweets, I think we can try to reclaim it, then get rejected, go lower, and I think maybe then after that we will have some bounce back and continuation. In my opinion, the fact that we already broke this super trend, and what I'm focusing on this daily, I will show you on more clear chart here where I have my expectations here. Let me remove it all. So basically what I am expecting here, and this is my chart that I was showing you a lot of times during the last year. We were having lower low, lower low, lower high, lower high, lower high. Then the first higher high, and we needed to, and we reached this range resistance. We had this reaction, and I was selling at 112, and I told you that because this ascending formation was a little bit overextended compared to what we have had here, compared to this market structure, and so we had to recover it. And I rebought at 90 cents. Then of course I had to sell again because there were signs of it that we are going lower, but I didn't. I oversee this, all this retracement. Of course we pumped back under, above, and definitely I was telling you that if I see the rejection from that resistance, I will sell. I sold, and now I am expecting for this super trend retest. And I recommended, if you bought lower before, like I was buying at 58 cents, if you bought lower, and I already increased the amount of MINA, I'm not currently holding any, but if we come to 65 cents, I will probably rebuy. And I think if we hold this super trend support, then it can become our bullish journey from that time. But I think I'm sure that we will revisit 70 cents, 65, and maybe even 50, 59, 57. I don't know. But I told you, if we hold it, then probably we will not see 50s. If we lose this super trend support, meaning we'll go like this, losing it, breaking it, then go for the retracement, then we will can go lower and retest the existing lows, all-time lows. It is not going to be good, in my opinion, if we'll break this daily super trend. So take care of it, pay attention to it. But definitely buying, if you bought below and sold higher, then definitely buying in this zone, it will be worth it. You will increase your amount of MINA holdings and you will be fine in the long term, in my opinion. These all of these are not the financial advices. Make your own analysis, but keep it in mind. Akash network, this is what I was talking about when nobody believed me that after this huge bump it is going to be back to the downside, and the current weekly is not a good one, in my opinion. Let's look at the monthly. Also very bad monthly closing, of course, unless we recover a little bit at the end of the month, but definitely I am seeing it getting back to 20 cents, 25 cents back. I'm kind of sure about it. And then if we retest it, you can buy it. It is worth buying it. All-time lows, 25, 20 cents. Then I think it is going to reclaim this Kijun, and then it is going to become the bullish situation for the AKT, Akash, and definitely we will be expecting it to come back for the retest of the previous important support resistance. So pay attention to it. Let's look at TVT, Trust Wallet token. Okay, a lot of drawings out here, but they are very helpful. On the monthly, I can see that it is still going to go lower, at least to $1, but I'm expecting even lower. After that hype it recovered the area that had to be recovered, and I told you that before. And definitely we broke and lost this contra trend line, and now it is our resistance. So I'm expecting continuation of the drop, maybe some kind of bounce here. And if I was deciding to buy Trust Wallet token, I would buy it only upon the retest of this trend line in the 80-90 cents zone. Then we are going to, what can we expect from that? Some pump, breaking this counter trend line, huge pump. Then we have this Kijun and super trend resistance here, get rejection, get back under intersection of supports here, and then we can go for the new highs. This is what I'm expecting from Trust Wallet. So basically, if you didn't buy it but you are eager to buy it, if you missed this opportunity, buy somewhere here upon the trend line, global trend line, support trend line, not earlier, in my opinion. That's it about TVT. Let's talk about Fetch.AI. AI narrative was the leading narrative of this run, 2-month run. So basically we have this, it is easy as that. We have this uncovered week, we will cover it sooner or later, and I mentioned it in my Twitter account today. It is very insightful to me. So if we have any kind of bounces up to 39, 38, 40 cents, I would maybe even try a short, and we will see it around 29 cents, 20% movement. Crazy great opportunity here. Let's enable our yes, we have this what we have here. I don't think it is going to bounce a lot, basically up to this, and then it is going for the retest of it. Here we have the weekly super trend support, and after that then probably we can bounce back under, but it is risky in my opinion because we can get back like this, and then if we lose it then we are going to drop all the way down up to into this zone, 14-15 zone, and that wouldn't be good. If we held it then we would go higher, but it is a very macro time frame, and we have this confirmations here. We have this inefficiency that was not covered, so basically there's a and this one that will be covered. It kind of did, but we left this inefficiency, so we will be back to 29 cents, and the rest is going to be decided further. But let's look at the monthly. The monthly doesn't look good either, in my opinion, locally. Why? Because let's look at the monthly and enable term frames. Kijun resistance, monthly Kijun resistance here. What we can expect here, trying to pump back lower down, and then we will decide what is going to happen next, and then we will try some kind of recovery. If we after that start recovery, then we have the resistance and get back. Everything is easy with this. Also, what we have to discuss again here, I wanted to show something else. Of course, let's look at near. It doesn't look good to me either. So the situation on every asset is kind of more or less the same. So definitely we retested, we lost this Kijun support and this super trend resistance also, so definitely any bounces, then we go lower, we recover this weekly week, and losing it maybe even accelerate the descending. In my opinion, the NEAR is very hard to understand coin because the projects they developed, they doesn't look very sharp at the moment, and they do not have any strong usability and hype around them. So basically, if you buy it, but with this candle we recovered. With this candle we recovered the previous one, so that one may not count. So, but we will retest this one, and what is going to happen next will be decided after that. So follow this range line, which is going to show us what is going to happen. Basically, this zone would be perfect for you to buy if you believe in NEAR, and what price we can expect from it in the coming years. Let's look at the weekly. I'd say $10 at least, if it doesn't go scam, if it delivers something at least. I'm not very bullish about it already, like I was before at the beginning of 2022, because the situation has changed, fundamental situation about it. If something changes in the future, then we will talk about it. But buying it around $1+ is good opportunity in my opinion. Risk to reward. Let's look at the Wu trade, Wu network. I have this Huobi chart, a great Huobi chart, but it is lagging. The candles it shows, it doesn't look like they are real time. But what I see here, let's look at the others. Binance has small history here, so basically we can retest 16 cents, then maybe even pump. who knows what is going to happen, but at the moment I wouldn't buy it. And on the monthly, as you can see, we also don't have a good situation. We are going to be back at least to 16 cents, but I would expect and start buying it around 13, 14, 12 cents. I don't know whether we come for the 10 cents again, but in the long run that won't matter in my opinion. Let's look at this Gate.io. Yes, we have this chart, and I would focus on this one. What we have here, retested, probably some kind of reaction, then we continue. 12, 13 cents would be a great opportunity to buy Wu, in my opinion. In the long run, the next bull run, it can be very profitable. As you can see here, we have it. If we retest it, 15 cents, then probably if we get reclaimed, then we become bullish, get retested, get rejected. Maybe when we break this range resistance, then we become very bullish here. So basically, if it drops below in the area between 12, 14 cents, I would buy it. I already bought at the very bottom at 10 cents, but 10 cents, yes. But definitely, if you missed it, definitely it is worth considering Wu as one of the kind of promising exchanges for the next run. Who knows what is going to happen? Yes, let's talk about Uniswap. If you remember my previous videos, we are following the trend here and what I predicted for it. As you can see, weekly Kijun resistance and range resistance. We got rejected. We are chopping back down upon this trend line as support, and we will have to recover this, and we found support upon it again. This is working trend line. It is going to show you when to buy. So basically, we have this bearish candle right now on the weekly, and monthly is a little bit better, but still going for the retest. So basically, any bounces, we are going back. What is going to be $4.80 at least we are going to cover, and then maybe after that we will bounce, and it will depend what is going to happen next. So basically, buying upon this, upon the touch of this trend contra trend line as support, you need to buy or long, and after that you will see the reaction, and then you will be able to decide what to do next. If it shows the bullish signs and reclaims this Kijun, then definitely it is going to go higher. If it only goes for the expansion and you see the signs of it, then we are going lower up to $4, $3.80, $3.90, $4. But it is going to be our bottom, in my opinion. Here, not lower, in my opinion. Do your own research, of course. Do not trust whatever I'm telling you, but the reaction is going to happen from this trend line. I think it is useful and you will be able to use it. Also, during this weekend, I was looking at some of the assets that everybody already forgot about them. They were released upon the start of the bear market in 2022. These are the polka dot related assets, and I see a lot of people right now are talking about the polka dot and that we have to buy it. No, not arguing with that, of course, but I'm not a fan of the polka dot, and maybe I'm wrong. And if you are such a fan, but I don't think it is going to go to the oblivion or scam or something like this. Simply, I don't kind of like it, but it doesn't mean that I'm not going to invest in it or trade it or be enthusiastic about it. So basically, what we need to know here, we need to know that a lot of people who are enthusiasts in Polkadot, they already only think about investing in DOT. And all those parachain related top assets like Akala and Glimmer, Moonbeam, ASTR and others, they already forgot about them. And why? Because everybody was so psyched to participate in the parachains. And what did they get? They got their airdrops of these assets. And these airdrops were so small, miserable. And of course, people thought they received this somewhere here or here, and their rewards, and they expected the price to go higher and they will become rich. Not a chance. All this went to the oblivion, and we can see how low it went, and those miserable airdrops from the parachains, they have become nothing. And a lot of people who were enthusiasts, they were like, okay, it was expected, and okay, why don't we start buying? The lower we go, we start buying. And a lot of people were buying somewhere here, of course here, and they're still good in my opinion in the long run, because a lot of people after, and you can see from the coin market cap, you can see a lot of people have these assets on their watch list. They have added after the parachains, and after they bought, invested in it, and they still believe in it. But the lower it went, and right now they are, I think nobody is talking about them. Why? Because everybody is very cautious about them, because even though we had such an amazing run during the first months of this year of 2023, these assets didn't show themselves. They performed very badly, and people have become more and more skeptical about them, and only focusing on DOT. But of course, how much DOT is going to give you, nobody knows. X10 maybe, and of course, if the market is right, X10 is going to be reached easily. If you, of course, and even if you bought around $4, and how much is going to be given. But these assets will be neglected by many people, and even those who were excited about them in 2022 do not mention and think about them right now. But this is the plot, and usually this is the plot. If you look at the similar situations about NEO, how low it went until it started the next pump, it renewed its all-time low and was trading, but we saw some trading activity here. Okay, let's look at the Ethereum Classic, how long it was trading. More than a year, I guess. For a year it was trading like this without any signs of life, then started to do something, and then pumping. And what happened when the super cycle has become? Do you remember? After $3-4 to $8, how it went to 170. Crazy returns. And if you will measure, if you would buy these assets, those that nobody was enthusiastic and forgot about them at that moment, look at them, they all gave at least 3,000% return in the coming years. Let's look at this seller network. Look at it. It was kind of lost, forgotten for a year, almost a year. It was trading in that narrow range. Then it started to pump, and what has happened after that? If you bought somewhere there, not the lowest possible range, 4,000%. Even if you sell here, more than 2,000%, closer to 3,000%. So these are the opportunities that a lot of people will miss, and these situations. Let's look at the Fetch again. After it was released in 2019, how low it went. And the situation right here, And then my narrative here and my thought here is that these kind of assets, they are forgotten, but when they lose the liquidity and the interest of the investors, and when they lose it after they start reviving, after they start recovering, and especially if they have some kind of news, bullish news, they start pumping like crazy, at least 100-200% in a month, maybe even higher. Let's look at this situation with FAT here. You buy here, it was an insane 700% rally, then recovery. Of course, after this inefficient rally, we have to retrace a bit. Then this is going to be our resistance here, and we are not diving back in the lower zone. It was the inefficiency we lost, and then we are rounding bottom and we are sending again. What we get here from these zones, at least 3000% at least. So it is the opportunity, the thought about behind it. If you believe in the DOT ecosystem, try to bet some amount in these assets. Let's talk about, I'm not kind of interested, I'm not going to talk about Akala today, but if you are interested, not much to say from there. State of Polkadot on the Misari research, and we can see what here. These are the DOT related parachains. Akala is the leader here, raised the leader by, I guess, by the, I don't know why it is leader here, but definitely Akala is one of the leaders. Moonbeam is the second, but actually it is has the highest contributions, twice as much than Akala has. Dot bonded more than 35 million and raised more than $154 million. Imagine how many these two projects have raised, and they have to deliver something. If they don't, upon the next bull run, then they will be lost like the EOS. And of course they will run to the upside, of course. And I will show you right now how they started diminishing the price action, both in the upside direction and in the downside direction. So basically, and ASTR is also one of them. ASTR is the leading promising smart contracts projects here. You can bet on it and take a look at it. And I think Moonbeam is underlooked, and maybe they are preparing something. Akala, you need to be, of course you can do it. Buying it for 9-10 cents is good risk to reward, but be very careful with it, because it is related to stable coins and has its own stable coin, I guess. And you know that these projects can be pressured by the governments, US government, because they are trying to impose their own CBDCs. So definitely be careful with this one. I chose two assets from me personally that represent an interest here. Definitely you can see how it reminds me also like Doge in the 2018-2019. No changes here, as you can see. The bottom respected. So basically, if we go lower right now, and you can see that the ASTR also, they had some news, they had some run a little bit. Let's take a look at it. Almost 200% run, a decent run here. So this asset is alive. And if you look at them, and smart contracts always will be in respect and drawn attention to. So basically, look, we draw some kind of bottom here, rounding bottom, and it is the strongest kind of bottoms. So basically, if we retest and this bottom zone and we draw some kind of other rounding bottom, this is going to be huge. So basically, you want to try and buy around 4 cents, 3 cents, 4 cents somewhere, 4 5 cents. You can even buy right now. It is not going to be bad. And where we expect it, at least here, 33 cents. And then I'm expecting if we break this high, all-time high, then I expect 60 cents, 66. I guess where is the high? 33, 66, and 99, 90 at least. This is where I'm expecting it. And what is going to be the profit in that case if we buy somewhere here? More than almost 2,000% less, 1,700. So basically, this is the one that we have to follow closely, and this is the one that is worth buying because it is moving. Its moves are so low at this moment because nobody cares about it. But when some news are going to come out and the Polkadot ecosystem is in shape and trending again, every asset of this kind are going to pump like this seller, like Fat, like Neo, and others, Ethereum Classic, those that were lost, at least even if nothing goes nice with these assets, but I think their time will come. The speculators during the next altcoin rally of the next super cycle, they are going to pump it because it is easy to pump something that has no liquidity or low liquidity and not very much of the passengers in it. Let's look at the GLMR. It is one of the top assets here because it has the highest watch list. A lot of people bought it. Rank 144 right now. Total supply is 1 billion. It is worth 200. It is a little bit high on the market cap, but it was one of the promising ones. So what I saw here, I want to bet on GLMR in my opinion because I see the levels where the price is going to come in the next run. So basically, it held precisely this support here, 27. I guess no, not 27. I don't know why this line, this trend line is this level is at this moment. I guess from the ignition of this movement, and maybe we will come to this. But it doesn't matter. If we have another run, we have this inefficiency, cover it. 32 cents, 33, 30 cents, 28 cents, buy. In my opinion, buy GLMR. In my opinion, it is going to be, it respects the levels very nicely. Maybe it is the accumulation range. We don't know, but it looks kind of promising. I know where the price is going to go during the bull run. First of all, it is this $172. $172. It is going to be the first huge resistance, and we don't know how long it will take for us to come to that, but it is going to happen when you least expect it. So basically, you don't know. So if we have some drawdown in the coming weeks, definitely it is the chance to buy GLMR, and when it starts recovering, it is going to move. For example, like MINA, it is going to break like this and go back. Basically, in my opinion, it is worth paying attention to GLMR, maybe and ASTR in my opinion. And the levels here are clear. This is the first huge resistance level for GLMR. The second one is going to be 450 right here, and the next one we will be deciding in the coming years. If everything goes nicely, then we will break it and we will go for at least somewhere here. We don't know it yet, but it is worth, in my opinion, buying something that is underlooked, that is missed at this moment, that people do not pay attention to. And it is a good opportunity for those who miss the opportunities. And for example, if we do not have some serious drawdowns again on the market, and the market continues to go up, these kind of assets, they are lagging, they are falling behind. So if you missed an entry, good entry, you see that market is very bullish, and then you missed entry on your favorite assets, you can buy this one because it is not that volatile and it follows the market. And you, if the market continues go higher, then you can hold it. If the market reverses, you simply put the stop loss at your entry and you will be out. But it is easier at these assets to catch your good entry and catch a good ride. So definitely, in my opinion, GLMR and ASTR are the ones to follow, and they can give something in return in the coming years. Definitely it is worth. Let's, for example, try to calculate what they can give us. It is 500%. The next one, 1400%. And if we go like we expected, something great is going to happen with it, we are going to 2000, 3000% at least. So basically, I don't know what is going to happen with it, but definitely it is worth buying these kind of assets, in my opinion. They can give great returns if you buy it at these low prices levels. Hit the like button if you liked and this episode was useful. Good luck.